Hello, hope you're having another wonderful day. My name is Nathan Dockery, and I am working on some artwork. It's happening so fast that I couldn't not bring the camera because I think the time-lapse aspect of looking at this sped up is going to be amazing. And I wanted to capture this to begin with, and I hesitated. So it's like, this is supposed to happen. Anyhow, I'm going to get this camera set up and looking at what's going on here. It's no secret, I've got bleach. This is a pullover. I typically make a grid when I do any artwork to give me sort of a construct in which to design. Let's see if I can get this camera to stay still. It's just like leaning off the edge of the table. Trying to get this thing to capture this goodness though. That ought to be good. Okay. I'm drawing a hexagonal. I was going to say tetrahedron or star tetrahedron. It's your traditional, or what is commonly known as the Star of David, which represents the upper triangle, which is masculine, the protruding aspects, and the downward triangle, which is the feminine, represents the feminine or the cup, basically the womb to be filled. You can see that there's sort of opposite polarities joined, so they're, sticking out as themselves, but connected. It's the fusion of the two. It's the divine union, or balance, or fullness. Anyway, this is not a metaphysical lesson, or it wasn't necessarily intended to be, so I'm going to get back to the doodles here and focusing on that. I guess I may have just realized my dream in becoming something like the modern day Bob Ross. What do you know? We've got a beautiful color coming through as this bleach eats away at the dye in this fabric. This is 100% cotton. I feel like natural fibers probably do better with this process. And I've rolled a Q-tip. That's what I'm using to do this. I roll the Q-tip as I go around the edge because this wants to sort of trail off. The cotton wants to sort of pull and spread out, basically making a larger footprint or brush. So, yeah, a good roll just sort of keeps that along the path that you're going. Almost got my circles done. I used the bottom of a water bottle and chalk to create my initial circles on the grid that I designed, and I used sort of the waypoints or the seam marks as origins for my grid. So like where it is, how do you get a grid on something like that? Where do you even start? There's a seam up here in the top, in the back of the hoodie, the back of the hood. The middle mark is marked on that. I just used that as my first mark, and then I came out to where the hood stopped on the shoulder and just kind of went with that line down, and I got over here and did the same thing, and the spacing wasn't right, and you'll find that that's probably common in a lot of your drawings until you're your measurement, your eye to hand measurements get a little better, your judgment. So what I did is, this one looked a little short compared to this one, so I added some to the outside to make it longer, and I added some to the inside to this one to make it shorter. So I sort of brought it back in, and even just the muscle memory and knowing sort of what lines I had established already, I knew where I was going, so I didn't need to make any more than that. For the arms, I kind of started coming down, and I was like, where do I go? And I found the middle point, just sort of a rough middle point in the arm stitching. From top to bottom, I just sort of got a rough middle for me. Started there, and then I got the bottom where the sleeve stops, and then I just sort of finished that approximately that distance and spacing off from there. Just giving some of you some art tips. So if you want to do these crafty things, the results turn out better when you've got something like this to work from, and when the results turn out better, you're more motivated to do it again or to do more things like that. So I said in a post yesterday, I'm trying to present myself in ways and things that I have to offer, gifts, talents, skills, what have you, knowledge and wisdom, different various forms, finding ways to present that in a easy to digest format. So, this process that I'm doing here in front of you, you can see just how fast it changes color, and that's why I wanted to get this on film. Otherwise I would have just really kept this to myself and just got out here and enjoyed some kind of offline time and not as much thinking time. But I saw this and I was like, holy shoot, like, talk about instant grits. Now this is it's fun, and it has to be probably amusing to watch, because you can almost watch this paint dry, or, you know what I mean? It's the opposite of watching paint dry. It's like so quick. So this is called, or what I'm working on can be referred to as the Star of Metatron. Metatron's cube, rather. It's a star, it's a cube, it's a geometric function or form with multiple stellations, and I guess it's 6 points, but it takes on so many forms. It's the reason I'm sharing this component or part of it is because this design I'm working on, it's the first time I've done this, but it's the design is representative of the geometric algorithms well, it's the universal blueprint for all matter. There we go. Everything in form can be expressed by this shape. So, I thought it might be a good one to put on here. This reminds me of like Buddhist artwork, Buddhist painting. The sort of, there's the Buddhist board, which is it's a board that you draw on, and it's not ink, it's water sensitive, so when it's wet, it shows black, and it's this bold image, and then as it dries, it fades, and then it disappears. Sort of the Buddhist play on impermanence. The other that I was thinking about is the Zen stroke, and how every one of those single strokes reflects the energy of the artist and that moment captured like a photograph. Okay, where do we go from here? The shape looks like it's a little bit off, to be honest, but it's so raw and organic that, coming from me like this, that I really don't care. that if it's perfect just because of how beautiful it already is. I figure this video will probably cut off in a second, and then I'll start another one, or I might just get some more progress on this thing. But either way, it's, as you can see, it's changing quite fast. I think I'm gonna go with straight lines between here, and I'll go ahead and chalk the side angles out just to give the bleach a direct path to go to. Yeah, I can see a little bit of spacing difference on this side, so you know, not going to be perfect, but by the time I add some in here, it's going to reinforce everything, and it will gain perfection, or the appearance of perfection, as I add more. Oh, so we're going to chalk those lines. That's what I'm going to do. Chalk, when you first buy it, can be a little tricky. So I'm out here on a yoga mat, and I'm sitting on the grass on the yoga mat, and I've got this on the pavement on the yoga mat. So that's a solid surface, and I'm on sort of a cushiony one. But I'm sharpening the chalk on the, kind of scuffing it on the sidewalk. And if you've got anything with a straight edge, you might as well use it. I uploaded a video last night, and it's 28 minutes long, and YouTube accepts that. You just have to verify your account. I didn't realize that. I'm going to start doing longer stuff for everybody and myself, because I love it. I don't like the little, like, how can I squeeze my experience into 10 minutes? Oh, thanks. Okay, so that'll give me a point to get those on there in orange. And I can go back on this and make it fully white, and I thought about doing that and adding like pink and like teal pastels, like to bring color back into the void places, especially on these blacks, because it's not really going to like affect the other. So yeah, this came to me out of the blue, and I decided that if I didn't do it, I was just going to want the stuff that other people were doing, which is fine, but I wasn't going to get any closer to that, because I just like wasn't going to buy it, because I was like, I can do that. Sometimes I'm like that. I'll be like, oh, I'm not going to buy that, I can make that. Like a lot of us probably do that. And then we don't make it. So when we do run across it, if it's something that we really want, like incense, for example, my buddy Michael Cutter in Colorado started up this incense business. He's been researching how to make natural incenses, stickless, like coreless incenses, and just like the incense themselves as sticks. I think it's a Japanese style, and when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, he did it! I can do it!" And then, like, I just came to that conclusion. I was like, "I'm not going to," and I bought his stuff. I was like, "He's already done it. Why don't I support him in doing it? And it'll teach me something on it as well." And that's the route that I took, and it feels better. Yeah, Q-tips, that's the way to go. Not a lot of pressure, more about just like sort of gliding along that line and letting the Clorox, well, this in this case it's LA's Awesome Bleach tropical scent, and it smells exactly like regular bleach does, but I like the fact that it said tropical. You just glide across there and let that liquid transfer mediums from your brush to the surface. You can customize anything, basically anything you've got. Now, like I said, I think that natural fibers work better, so I'm going to throw some support out there for hemp, and just go ahead and say use hemp if you've got access to it, and support that industry, which is going to change a lot of things here in the United States. Alabama just started it. Tennessee, I think, had started it. Hemp's coming back. I mean, we're looking at biofuels and textiles and food, hemp seed. We're looking at some big changes coming. So, support that industry all you can. But cotton's always good too. Flax fiber I've seen used as clothing. I actually got some pants that a friend of mine gave me that are flax. We don't have to exist in a world, in a future of pollution. And if you mess up, don't worry about it. You can see, I got a couple little spots in different places where it's not perfect. In this style, that's what it's about. And if you don't like it and can't deal with it, then just get a little like a thimble almost amount, and just sort of, or a spray bottle, and just spritz. Kind of the spit, not really the mist or the direct spray, just kind of that weird spit consistency in the middle. You just want to kind of give this a mist of sorts, and it'll sort of turn out more galaxy-like, at least from what I've seen. I haven't tried it, I haven't done it. Like I said, this is the first time. But it's turning out. When I squint my eyes, I can see more of the pattern and not the chalk. You might try the same if the chalk's still really, really visible in the camera. I'm not looking at it right now, but just kind of squint and look at this image, and you'll see that it's looks way more lined up than the chalk does, and that's the effect I'm going for, in case you didn't already know that. I really like that. I'm looking forward to putting some moon phases, and I don't know if I'll add all the other lines that make up this image as much as, because you can do another sphere, not directly center. I guess it may be directly center. These come in and that one comes down. Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and that makes a cube image. You begin to see this three-dimensional cube with its kind of upward point facing you, which gives this three-dimensional look. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Camera's still recording? Yep. It's been 18 minutes. Huh. I guess I'll say last time it seemed like it only did a 17-minute video. Well, we're just gonna keep on rolling, guys. It's been such a good day. Such a good day. Found honey with the comb, which is something I've been looking for. And I knew that Walmart probably... Alright, so I guess the camera goes about 20 minutes or so, and then it just shuts itself off. If I had a power cord or something plugged in, it wouldn't do that, but it's fine. I could autofocus it, once every 10 minutes or something, and it'd probably keep going. Either way, I had thought about bringing my laptop and plugging it up and having it, sticking out the door or whatever, but it's not about the video for this. I just wanted to get out here and make this, and I saw how awesome it was, and I wanted other people to see how awesome it was, because it's awesome. And it's either going to be very stressful or very relaxing, depending on how you're feeling. In my case, I was feeling pretty excited and like elated about this day and what's happened in it, and this just is giving me a little bit more of a stillness to sort of simmer in that feeling. And really, this is adding to it because it was inspired already. But if you're not inspired and you try to rush this, or like you could really have a hell of a time in either direction of feeling, good or bad, doing anything. But this is adding to my day for sure. For sure. Sometimes I have a tendency to just add every connection that isn't there. So like this line, all those short end legs, which will make these little triangles here. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll just do like the large lines and leave the small ones out because the small ones can make it kind of busy. But either way, this is the basic pattern. It's also in different. This thing takes a million different forms. Like I said, it's the blueprint of all matter. And you've probably seen the flower of life, heard of the flower of life, or the seed of life, Metatron's cube, star tetrahedron, Star of David. I guess it could be hexagon, hexagram, anything of that symmetry. This is the 6-pointed symmetry. It's the blueprint of matter. It's the simplest blueprint of matter because there are triangular things, I guess, or the existence of things could be triangular, but due to the equilibrium of the universe and the way that things want to be homeostatic or constantly balanced, you've heard it probably said, everything is perfect, or everything is as it should be, everything happens for a reason. This sort of gets more into the form aspect of that and why it's balanced and how things can exist and things be as they should be because of balance. This image represents that in many forms. The Genesis pattern is another name that this shape is also known under, and it also refers to the creation process and the 7 days in that creation process, and even the 6 days of creation and the 7th of rest, as there are 6 points and a 7th. It's, like I said, it's known as the Genesis pattern, and this is sort of some of the metaphysical and religious, spiritual things that I've acquired over some years and understood. This art is a reflection of that and a reminder to me of that, and brings me closer to that awareness on a more constant basis, which is why I want to anchor these things and make them more visible in my world. Everything is beautiful. And it's on the way. I think I'm gonna get a ruler. Go from point B to point A. Yep, I'll be right back. The nice thing about keeping your stuff organized, tidy, space is clean and accessible, is you'll always know where things are and you can always find them, and that gives you more time and enables you to do more things. Okay, that's not going to work like I wanted it to, just because I can tell that, like I said, everything's not perfect, so I've got to sort of tighten things up without making things perfect, and like I did it all by hand. I'm bringing a ruler in. Ruler is exact. My hand's not exact. So I've got to find ways to like fudge it in certain spots to make it look better. That's what makes an artist an artist. It's not necessarily going with the rules, but finding places where the rules are actually going to make things worse. For example, you always wear a seatbelt until you see that your car is going off the cliff and you can get out, but you can't slow down. That's when you unbuckle your seatbelt and GTFO out of there. Okay. Chalk it. Let's see what chalking it does. Yeah, it's not perfect. I guess it doesn't have to be Mr. Perfection. You're right. Okay, yeah, this is starting to tickle my fancy. See, that cross isn't lining up directly on our center line. Having this guideline at least gives me something to work from, to where I can sort of make a hand correction while I'm doing the muscle work and not just the line work. Like that was way off. Just have to add more and kind of remind myself of that and not directly follow it. Almost got my septum pierced today. I think I'm going to do that pretty soon. Give it a try. Also, almost got a tattoo today. I'm feeling alive today, in case you didn't notice. I almost went skydiving today. Yeah, just to give you a heads up on how I'm feeling. Today was one of those days. Let's do it. Live. And I'm talking myself out of most of those. Or delayed them to another day, rather. Because I kind of sort of ran out of time and didn't want to last minute everything. Got a haircut today. Yeah, it's been a great day. Very, very productive in so many ways. Talked to some friends of mine, or a friend of mine that started up a business here in town. Tony Haynes is working on Cymbidium Studios, working out of Cymbidium Studios. He's a decor rental company for events, parties, photo shoots, weddings. So any celebration, you want that thing to look super snazzy, birthday party, you want that thing to look like a true royal prince or princess having a celebration, contact over Tony Haynes. He's got it. I ain't even kidding. Places like a Pinterest, Cloud9, and more, and a florist, the most beautiful place I've went into in a minute. Alright, see, like these go all the way through. I'm not going in those inner lines. At least I'm not planning on doing that. So I'm going to stick with these, those. Yeah, let's do that and go from there. See, this wasn't like a predetermined thing. Like, oh, you knew what you were going to do. I mean, I drew a grid, and I remembered that this was something that I did the other day by hand. I drew it, and I was like, might as well give it a try. It's a shape I like. I really liked the way that it felt when I did the shape the other day, so it like kind of tied in with what I did the other day, and in that way, sort of like amplified the feeling I had the other day. I used that energy, the way that I had felt about that experience, from that experience, during that experience. I sort of used that, and going off of the same sort of blueprint of it, I was able to remind myself of that energy and then use that energy that I received from that memory to then do more with it and amplify it more. So this is becoming like a power icon for me. lot of people have already expressed that it is that, and also serves in that way. Just about everybody I've talked to that isn't familiar with this image has said something along those lines, like, this amplifies the cellular memory and vibration of water. You have a charging plate or orgonite. This geometry is used in that quite a bit. So I think I'm gonna create stuff like this and sell it. I'm not like jumping too far ahead of myself here because I'm keeping this bad boy because this is my number one piece, first one with Patient Zero or Extra Virgin. First fruit here. Yeah, I really just wanted to show everybody how awesome this is as it changes color, because it's really quick, and a lot of things in this reality don't happen this fast, and it's kind of neat to watch things that do develop quickly. At least I'm highly amused by this. Again, if the chalk's kind of deterring you from seeing it, squint and look at it and you'll see it a lot sharper, minus most of that chalk. And you can see it's yeah, we're going some places. This line's obviously shorter than that one. I could get in and try to patch that up, but like I said, it's not about perfection. It's about getting our sights on good and better, not perfect. So this is looking mighty sexy to me. I really like the orange it's turning out into, and how the lines that are coming together have a white sort of connection point, or the bleed of the second coat of bleach on that spot is lightening it up. It's giving sort of a almost not quite wavy, but it is creating some difference in this image as opposed to it all being one color, and almost kind of looking like a highlighter. Yeah, enough about me and that. More of this. Yep, I was gonna go buy some fruit today. I had it written down, and it was gifted to me. Talk about it today. I didn't have any specific fruit written down. I just put fruit. Well, I had avocados on there, but I ended up finding some sunflower kernels, and I'm always looking for expanding my dietary palette now that I'm 100% plant-based. I am 100% plant-based, and you'll be surprised that you actually at times will get more energy even when you're not eating, because sometimes on this plant-based journey I get tired, and sometimes I'll just go into that and I'll fast or dry fast even, and next thing I know I'm up cleaning the house, exercising, where maybe I wasn't even exercising for a week or two at a time, on just a regular dietary intake. So yeah, I'm always looking to update and expand and see how different plant and produce related items make me feel. Sunflower kernels, roasted and salted. The salt is really stimulating me because I'm not on caffeine. I might get a tea, a matcha or something somewhere, but even that right now is kind of off of my list. So yeah, fruit, primarily things like kiwi, apple, I've been intending to, and I had written down today to go pick up Concord grapes. And if they didn't have those, then seeded grapes would be the preference. And if they didn't have those, then of course seedless would be okay. And I prefer to go with the darker colored things because of the density of that, the opaqueness of that, and the phytonutrient. Purple, or those darker sort of reds, typically a little more nutrient packed, or I think we tend to get less of those in our diet. Lettuces are green, and broccoli's green, and peas are green, and there's like so many green things. Brussels sprouts are green. Green's pretty common among the plant stuff, so when I can go for the purple option, I do. Stoked about getting that incense from Michael Cutter today. I got a Mayan smudge stick. I think it's Mayan Sun smudge stick with copal in it. I believe that was the one that had copal in it. I got that and sage mystic sticks, and I haven't smelled those yet. I just wanted to get a quick scent of the smudge, but ooh, it came in a Pyrex tube with a cork in it. I mean, it's like sexy, and the stick is like good, solid, not flaky or brittle feeling. It burns well and even and smells phenomenal. Stoked about getting those items in today, and it was amazing in my heart space that I already knew or felt. I can't say that I know, because knowing sort of, when you say you know something that hasn't happened, the ego can trip up the reality and it might not happen. But it is amazing that today I felt in my heart space that the incense would be in there, and it was. So, yeah. Don't get ahead of yourself by knowing too much, but be open to feel what you are, and don't get caught up in the feedback loop of feeling too excited about it. Just have fun. I'm trying to get this little spider that blew over here in the wind off my shoulder. Probably just pulled his web out a little further, and he's floating on my back. There he is. Come here. I'm not gonna hurt you. I mean, I probably would by accident. Okay, so I got that far. I really like it. That's the thing about art for me, is I don't always just take off and run and go too fast. Caffeine sometimes does that to me, or if I smoke too much weed, sometimes I'll do that. But in this case, I'm not overstimulated, so I'm taking my time because I want a good outcome, and I really like what I have so far, and I don't want to mess that up, but I'm not too afraid to mess that up that I won't make more changes to it. So I'm just going to get a little further back and take a peek, and it looks really good on the back of that garment. See, and you can add, some people, or myself included, will just sometimes keep it the same pattern going. I thought about coming down and doing more of this, but it doesn't quite have the space for it. I mean, I could kind of get it in there, but I don't want to get it everywhere and it not be sort of complete. I want this image to look complete. So you can come out in this direction maybe. I just don't have a grid point to line that up with, so that really doesn't seem like a viable option. I could add these lines. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now that I see it, it looks good. And as much as I'm talking, and it's a little warm out here, I'm sort of, and especially from that salt of those sunflower kernels, feeling like I could use a little bit more fruit. Just a little bit of parchedness. And one thing I've noticed on this journey is that before I used to drink a lot of water, like maybe 8 bottles a day or something. And now that I'm eating mostly raw fruit, I don't hardly ever drink bottled water, because I don't drink tap water, and we don't have a spring right here, but it would be bottled as well. So there is a spring actually in Springville, Alabama, where you can go fill up your own gallon jug right out of the water. You just dip it in there, and I want to start doing that again, because picking up a living water and drinking a living water, it's so different than stuff that's been pressure processed and put into plastic. Not to say that I wouldn't put it back into plastic, but something about it, like the heat of transportation, and it's sitting in a hot truck and sitting on a shelf for a month at a time. Most of this, like, milk jug style gallons that I buy, I always taste the plastic in them, and I don't like that. Not a fan of tasting plastic in my water if I'm buying water. So if you're ever looking, HDPE is the better plastic in my experience. I bought a bunch for this juice business that I'm building. Flora Juice Co. Flora Juice Company. Excuse me, little ant. HDPE leaches less than most plastics. You're really clear. I don't know. Like, I guess the leaching comes in as a problem mostly on your citrus juices. I haven't really been doing any of those. Citrus hasn't been necessarily my ally in the past. I was going too aggressively into detox, and as a result of that, I came off of it, and it didn't leave a good taste in my mouth, because it was like, I'm in so much pain because of all the junk I was freeing up in my body too fast. Because citrus is like the strongest thing to clean you out when you're not well. And yeah, I went at it too hard, like Weekend Warrior style, and just like was hurting myself and hurting. And I ended up coming off of fruit and being like, nope, fruit's not it, because I hurt on fruit too. Like, you people that said the fruit's it, y'all are wrong. But no, I went into fruitarian and plant-based head first. So I'm throwing this out there so some of you will pick it up and just kind of like be like, oh, well, maybe that's why I failed at that when I tried. I was just going too hard into it, and that's something easy to do. So yeah, if you have ever, or if you are to ever go on a plant-based diet, don't do too much citrus. Like, I've been doing lemon waters for breakfast. I'll wake up and like boil maybe 5 or 6 ounces of water. I'll get that boiling, or just like hear the beginning of the bubbles forming, and I'll be over there chopping lemon in half and squeezing that thing in a mason jar. And once the water gets to, just to that sort of like initial boil point, or somewhere along that process, turn it off, leave it sitting there, squeeze your lemons in your jar while that's going, and then go back over there once you got all your lemon juice out in your jar. And a lot of people are going to make the mistake when people hear or say warm lemon water and boil water and have that hot water, and throw some fresh raw lemon juice in that, or vice versa, hot water in that raw lemon juice, and you're going to kill all the cultures when you do that. And basically, like, the living intelligence in that fruit is going to pass away, and it's not going to carry out its full benefit. Like, you're just, at that point, you're getting the nutrients and the sugars, but not the life that was holding all that beauty together and created all that beauty. That's what we're ultimately putting in our body when we eat raw. So you want to, when you use honey in coffee, or a warm drink, or any juice in any sort of warm drink, you'll want to put your fingers in there first, and you'll want to be able to hold your fingers in there indefinitely, And if you can't do that, the water's too hot. So I boil that 5 to 6 ounces, get it warm, and then I'll pour in like a 16.9 ounce, regular bottle of water into that. And usually that ratio sort of cools itself to a suitable temperature. If not, add a little bit more cool water. And then if you have too much water for your jar, I typically use like a quart jar, and I'll put 2 to 4 lemons like squeezed in there. Like I don't throw the lemon in there because I don't really want all that citrus oil, but squeeze 2 to 4 lemons in your jar. I got a mason quart jar. Squeeze that in there. Throw your lemons away. Wash your hands. You'll probably have the lemon oil all over your hands. It's really slippery. It's great for your skin, great for your body. You don't have to worry about having it on your hands. Some of them may have pesticides on the outside though, or other chemicals, so you don't really necessarily want to rub that oil all over you. I mean, you can, because the oil's already there. Do what you feel, but the oil's great. I just don't want it in my drink. So 2 to 4 lemons squeezed in the water. The finger is able to stay in there for a long-term temperature. Pour up to the brim, totally up to the top, on that quart mason jar, and then whatever water you got, just pour it down the drain or pour it back in the bottle. And take your time sipping that thing down in the morning for breakfast. Work that in as a substitute for teas and coffees, and that will begin changing your world. Like I said, however, be careful that you don't go too aggressive on citrus, because if I did citrus all day for probably 2 days or 3 days, my body would sort of lash out at me, and it would be like, hey, I want some things, and right now you're just taking, clearing, scraping things. Like, you got to be able to listen to that and not be too aggressive, or you'll compromise your discipline will be broken if your discipline is too hard. So go gently. Alright, I've got the sort of star shape going, and I'm going to go ahead and get that on there. So right now, I guess I've got about, let's see how many minutes, 9 minutes there, probably 15, 30, I've almost got 40 minutes of video doing this. I was going to say I could stop it and not talk and not share and sort of like close off my channel and give you just a highlight later, but I'm feeling good and this is going well. So if I have to, I'll just upload 2 videos, but nonetheless, I'm going to capture all of it. Got a couple ants on here, checking things out, just seeing if this is somewhere they'd like to explore. I would imagine a lot of them are probably changing their minds about that when they realize they're walking across a line of Clorox. But I say Clorox. Clorox is a brand. Bleach. And I thought all bleaches were chlorine, but this has got sodium hypochlorite. That's the bleach. I thought it would just be like chlorine, Cl or whatever. I thought it would just be elemental, but apparently this is I'm sure it's some industrial byproduct, and it's probably super cheap, which is why I got that gallon of it for $1. But it works, and you achieve the same effect. I went to Dollar Tree and got these things. What I get, the chalk and the bleach there. I think they probably would have like a ruler, plastic ruler, if you wanted to do a ruler for these lines. That may be where I got mine last time. I mean, it's better than paying $3.99 for basically the same ruler at like a Walmart or Office Depot. I'm all about supporting all the companies and all that thing, but if I can save resources on my end and be able to support more times, more places, I would rather do more times, more places than larger amount per time, less times, less places. So, spread the love. That's what a real mob do. So, that's going in there pretty good. Yep, that's looking mighty sexy. I do say so myself. Sun Gold kiwis. I've had some Sun Gold kiwis this week, and whew, Sesame Sun Gold kiwis by Oppenheimer Farms. The old Oppie, it says on the bottom. Those are great kiwis, based out of New Zealand. Walmart's got those right now. It's like, I don't know, $3 or something for a pound of those. You can get by on like 2 of those at a time as a snack. You know, yeah, they're excellent. Less hairy than the regular kiwi, not that that matters. But, Oppenheimer, turns out, that name, that family, apparently had something to do with the invention of the nuclear bomb. And I was like, well, I'm dang. No wonder they're a New Zealand grown kiwi. They've made it. They have arrived. There's plenty of those babies in the world now. Talking about nukes. But I'm not concerned about nuclear fallout, Holocaust, or any of that. I feel like I would either just die and I wouldn't have to worry about it, or I would live and then I would just like track down iodine or iodine sources in nature, and I would just detox, and yeah, I'd make it. I'd be fine. Probably, I might grow a second penis, or another arm, or some crazy tumor stuff, or like anything is bound to happen in that environment because it's severe amount of radiation. But I'm not scared of that scenario like I used to be. I'm just like, it happens, it happens. I used to prepare and be like, I want to have all my ducks in a row. In case things go crazy, I want to be able to make it on my own. And I did acquire the knowledge to be able to do that. So now I'm just like, I'll just chill. If it happens, it happens. I'll be ready if it does. I'll do what I can if I make it through it. And there's no fear or worry now. So on this one, this particular set of lines, this upward triangle, I didn't add the middle lines inside of this downward triangle, and that kind of looks neat. Trying to find out if I want to add them or not. I'm trying to like blur out where the chalk is to see it, and that's difficult because it's pretty thick chalk, so I gotta squint really hard. Just to get a glimpse. I'm gonna add them all just because. Okay, so like another spot, I feel like these lines need to hit each other again, or like the line is like 2 in or something. Something just doesn't feel right about it. But either way, I've got company showing up as we speak. I'm going to cut the clip, and you'll probably see some progress on this later. But thank you for watching. Well, this is the first time I've ever done this, but yeah, I'm going to give her a test run. Just to give you the best possible view of this wonderful creation I've just made, and best first impression. about the way it turned out. I think it turned out really good. So, pretty much exactly what I want. And put eyes in the pockets. I thought that was a nice touch. Evil eye to keep those hungry eyes from looking in those pockets. Yeah, hope you like it. Is there anything in particular that you want me to make for you? Maybe your logo, or maybe a certain geometric pattern, specific type of art you would like for me to attempt? I'm open to commissions and custom projects, you know. So yeah, if you've got a good idea, give me a shout. I'd love to connect and hear what you got to say.